So Mike Bollinger, Global Vice President of Strategic Initiatives. I've been in the industry, forever. I started out as a CIO of a large school district and then moved into the supplier area in the last 20, 25 years. And I've worked in a variety of roles, including SAP and Oracle, but I've been at Cornerstone 8 years and have done several things at Cornerstone, including research in the Cornerstone People Research Lab, which I believe we're going to talk about today. So I've had a couple of different roles, which is like any skills you develop and change over time. Being at Cornerstone for 8 years, I've done a variety of things. I founded a thought leadership and advisory services group, which included a set of value practitioners and a set of strategic outcome consultants as well. So the notion is a rising tide lifts all boats. I then moved into founding and running the Cornerstone People Research Lab. And the Cornerstone People Research Lab, again, is focused very much on talent development research. And the Talent Health Index, which we're talking about today, is our recently released piece of research. So to talk about the 5 takeaways, I need to just do a quick little history. So we did our first global report on this in 2020, and we found something called the skills confidence gap. So we did both an employee and an employer perspective, and the confidence gap was the difference between the employee sentiment about being able to consume skills development and the employer saying that they were making the investment in that skills development. So in 2021, we repeated the research to make sure that that gap, and it was a significant gap of 30 points, we repeated that research and we added the notion of a high-performing organization. So this year, what we did was we continued that global research. We included the high-performing organization, but we also added something we call the Talent Health Index to understand what those high-performing organizations were doing well and what they might be able to do better as a result of that. So the first key takeaway is the skills confidence gap, which is statistically significant, continues. So it's not an anomaly, it's a truism in that research. The second key takeaway is that in a high-performing organization, that confidence gap literally disappears statistically. It's only 6 points. So it demonstrates clear alignment between the employee and the employer. Then the third interesting part about this Talent Health Index was what we found was high-performing organizations didn't do just one thing well, they did many things well. So the investment that they made was significant across the board in many initiatives. The fourth thing that we found was very significant in that the investment that they were making now. So when we asked about investments, high-performing organizations had already started their investment this year, whereas laggards were 3 to maybe 5 years. And then the final interesting part, and the fifth part of this Talent Health Index, because a lot of times people say that's great, but what could talent health, high-performing organizations do in the Talent Health Index? And one of the things that we found is only 50% of high-performing organizations are actually using AI for known use cases. So the opportunity then is for them to make an investment in known use cases as they grow. So we expect to see that change over the next iteration of this particular piece of research.